Hey there, let's continue our Google Ads course. Today we're gonna look at the user queries that triggered our ads. We'll see which ones have absolutely nothing to do with our business and just get rid of them completely. So the first thing we do, we go to the Insights and Reports section and then to Search Terms. Click here and choose the date range we're interested in. I'm picking the range from the 22nd to the 24th. Those are just the 3 days when my ads were actually running. Click Apply on the bottom right. And now we see all the search terms that triggered our ads during the range we selected. By the way, be careful with date ranges. Don't forget that you changed them. You might just grab a different range and end up analyzing who knows what. Now I'll hide the left menu. I'll scroll down to the bottom and choose to show 500 rows, so that all my 105 rows show up on one page. I'll go back to the top and sort the data by cost. When I analyze real ad accounts, I always sort by cost, so that the stuff we spend the most money on is at the top. That's what requires my immediate attention. I need to see right away if we spent a lot on some junk, so I can negative it out immediately. Since this was a test launch with low bids and we don't have much real spending here, for clarity, I'll sort the data by the impressions column. Where there are more impressions, the potential costs are higher. Just for clarity, right now we're looking at search terms for all campaigns in the account. If you're interested in a specific campaign, you can click Select a campaign at the top and pick a specific one. I'm gonna look at all queries at once. I'll check the boxes for irrelevant queries and comment on them as I go. It's clearer that way. In the lesson on grouping keywords for ads, we took high-frequency queries. I told you back then that you need to go through all the phrases to find negative keywords. This allows you to make a solid list of negative keywords right at the start and, at the same time, find interesting topics for the business. Maybe you're missing out on a profitable service. I purposely didn't go through them or add them to negatives just to show you clearly what happens during a real ad launch. And I set a very low budget for this example. Can you imagine what happens when people launch straight away with thousands of dollars? I selected 13 rows. That'll be enough for an example. Uñas cerca de mí. We don't have Spanish-speaking staff, our ad is in English, and the site is in English. So this should be in negatives. How much does a gel manicure cost? This isn't always a negative. Some people consider these good hot queries because the person is interested in the price. But often they care about the price if they want to save money. I don't do cheap, so I usually negative this out. But you can leave queries like this alone and see how well they convert into clients. Luckily, we have conversion stats for every query. In my table, that's the column on the far right. If you don't have it, you can turn it on in the columns. I showed you how to do that in the last lesson, where we broke down how different negative keyword match types work. Specifically in this case, this column isn't super important since we barely had any clicks, let alone conversions. Because the site isn't a real business, but was created just to drive traffic and show you all the steps on a real example. Type of nail services. This looks more like informational stuff. And we need sales. Home pedicure service. Totally off, we're a salon. Mobile nail services near me is similar. Pedicura cerca de mí, Spanish language. How much do acrylic nails cost at a salon? Price query. I commented on a similar query earlier. These 7 search terms that fit on the screen are enough for an example. Using them, I'll show you how to do negative keywords correctly, so you get it right the first time. Because many people add queries to negatives and then spend money on similar queries again anyway. And by the way, our table shows 153 queries, but Google hid another 115 from us, and there's no way to see them. When you do a good job with negatives at the start, you get fewer impressions like this. In reality, you won't be able to negative everything right at the start, and you don't even have to, so you don't accidentally block something good. But your job for the first little while after launch is to just not leave this screen. Clean and clean. And only when the traffic gets more or less clean do you scale. When you just increase budgets without doing a good job on negatives, you're just increasing useless spending proportionally to the budget increase. Doing negatives is very easy, simple and clear in Ads editor. The probability of errors there is very low. But to start, I'll show you how it's done in the interface so you can compare clearly. I open the side menu, go to the keywords section. Right away, our, let's say, positive keywords open up. We're interested in the tab to the right of them, called negative keywords. We currently have 3 keywords each, since they are at the ad campaign level, and we have 3 of them. At the top, you can select one specific one. I'll take search Miami nail, for example. Now we see negative keywords that relate specifically to this ad campaign. Where there's one word, it's in broad match type. Where there are 2 words or more, those are in phrase match. You know very well why that is from the last lesson. We broke all that down in detail there. The first option is to add negative keywords. Click the plus sign. By default, the option Add negative keywords is selected. In Add to, we choose where we want to add negative keywords and simply write them below in a list. Or you can use negative keyword list. I use lists pretty rarely, but there are cases when it's really useful. I'll show you now. Right now we don't have a single list here. To create one, I go to Tools, then Shared Library, then Exclusion Lists, then Negative Keyword Lists. Click the plus sign. Give it a name, let's say short for base negative list. You might have many lists, so the name should speak for itself about what's inside that list. I'll write, for example, what and why. You can just download from the internet, Google regular standard lists of negative keywords. All this informational stuff, what, how, why, and so on, reviews and stuff like that, all this nonsense. But it's important not to overdo it here, because a lot of people negative out good words that just cut reach. Let's say by blocking the word for, you might miss very interesting queries that actually relate to your business in some way. Therefore, if you make lists of negative keywords, you can use standard ones just so the traffic is cleaner initially, but without going crazy. Because when we go through search terms, we sometimes see interesting topics that can be implemented into our business. Why do we need negative keyword lists? Just so we don't have to add every word separately to every campaign like we're doing. I mean, sometimes that can be just not very convenient. You can simply apply one list easily to all campaigns and that's it. But I advise using that just strictly for standard lists with all that informational junk. The rest is better done manually because we are, I hope, all entrepreneurs here. And our task is not just to launch perfectly on the topic we do, but also to see new interesting topics and directions. Okay, I press save and my list of negative keywords has appeared. I'm not applying it anywhere yet, I'm just showing how it works. Returning to our search terms. Always pay attention to which campaign and which time period you have selected. If it's not what you need, then choose what really interests you. Now I'm showing the amateur method of adding these glorious negative keywords. People do it this way almost always, and you absolutely must not do it this way. But you just have to know it. There is a column called Added Excluded. I commented on it in the last lesson. I'll select the query how much does a gel manicure cost. Opposite it, it says none, which means we don't have a keyword or negative keyword that exactly matches this search query. If there is, it will say added, like for nail salon near me. Excluded will only be written if you negative it out the way you shouldn't, meaning exactly this specific phrase. When you've selected a phrase, 2 options appear on the blue bar at the top: Add as keyword and Add as negative keyword. If we click Add as keyword, we'll get a keyword just like this query, but it's useless, because in most cases they won't get any volume. We already selected the queries that had volume, and this right here is just some crap, just for playing around. And yes, it will say added, but again, you'll add all this to who knows where. You won't have a headline that's strictly relevant to this keyword. So basically, it ends up being work for nothing. And next to it is that button Add as negative keyword, which the majority uses. I'll press it. First, they ask us where we want to add this keyword, to the ad group, campaign, or negative keyword list level. If negative keyword list, then you can choose the right one from the list. We currently have only one, And there's also a checkbox at the bottom to immediately assign this list to the ad campaign. In our structure, we almost always add negative keywords at the campaign level. But that's not the point. By default, it offers to add the negative phrase in exact match. You can see that by these square brackets. And you know from the last lesson how negatives work in exact match. It turns the query into an excluded keyword exactly as written. How much does a gel manicure cost? The keyword doesn't even fit entirely in the field here. Couldn't Google make a longer field so we could see the whole phrase? But this is done on purpose, so the action is barely useful. And they keep making money on your useless spending. I'll explain with a clear example right now. Press cancel. If I negative out how much does a gel manicure cost, and next time someone types how much does gel manicure cost without a, our ad will show up. And will also show up for the query how much do acrylic nails cost at a salon. We can just negative out how in broad match type and in one fell swoop ban all future queries containing this word. Otherwise, you'll just be adding phrases to negatives every time. And there are thousands of formulations. So I'm showing you how to do it right. I open a notepad and write down the word how. Let's look at what else is unnecessary. Pay attention to the phrases and extract from them exactly those words that definitely don't fit us. Uñas is definitely not ours. I don't want to show up for it no matter what queries it's in. Copy it and paste it into our notepad. To not get confused, I recommend highlighting the line you've already worked on. Scroll down. Forever Young nail scandal. Forever Young is a brand. People were clearly not looking for us. You can negative out forever. You can negative out young, but it would be more correct to negative out forever young in phrase match. That way we won't show up anymore when people search for this brand with any other words in the query. Write it in the notepad. Notice that I wrote the phrase lower than the other words. Visually separate single word and multi-word negatives. I'll show you why a bit later. For the example, so you understand everything, these negatives will be enough. Let's move to our beloved Google Ads editor. All the pros work only in it. It's a very cool tool. I'm sure you've already appreciated its convenience and speed while going through the previous lessons of the course. Okay, now I'm going to keywords negative. Right now all three campaigns are selected, so keywords in all campaigns are shown. I'll choose, let's say, search Miami nail, just so the list looks cleaner, and I'll add these negative words of ours here. I'll start with the ones that need to be added in phrase match. I have one such phrase, it's forever young. I select and copy it. In editor, I press make multiple changes. Here I switch to add as campaign level negative keywords and select the campaign search Miami nail. You can add to all of them at once, but I'm going to show you some interesting moments, so I'm doing it this way. Here click paste from clipboard, here select keyword so editor understands what to add this phrase as. Click process, and here finish and review changes. It's not necessary to click, keep all at the top in this case. It's actually convenient not to press it yet, so you keep the visual highlighting of rows with new negative words. Select our added phrases, I have one. If you have many phrases and they are sorted by name, it won't be convenient to select them. Then you just click right here on the triangle sign. It highlights the changed objects and all new elements will be at the top. Very convenient, and you can quickly select everything you need. Change match type from the default broad to phrase. When changing the match type, the top line with the keep all button disappeared by itself. Now select and copy from the notepad the words that need to be added in broad match type, that is, those consisting of one word. Click. Make multiple changes. Also select Add as campaign level negative keywords. Check the box for the same campaign. Search Miami nail. It has changes that aren't published to Google servers yet, so it's bolded. Click paste from clipboard, choose keyword for the header and click process. And here finish and review changes. Right here we press keep all immediately since no other actions need to be done. We immediately added those phrases separately that should be in broad match so they would be convenient to select. This isn't mandatory, but agree that it's a handy life hack for saving time. Give me a like for that. Different campaigns might have different negative keywords. In our case, they fit into all campaigns, and we could have added them to all at once, not just one. I added to one to show you interesting aspects of working with editor that you might need. I select and copy our new negative keywords. Luckily they are bolded, so it's hard to get confused. Go to the campaign, search Miami manicure and press paste. For pasting and copying, it's convenient to use standard hotkeys, but you can use the regular context menu if you're more used to that. Here it asks me to choose where I want to add the pasted items. Campaign level is selected correctly by default, and only one campaign is suggested. That's because on the left we have only one selected. If all were selected, it would have suggested all. I press OK. Our words are added. These keywords are in the clipboard, and we can easily add them to the remaining campaign. But let's simulate a more complex situation where you can't just click on the triangle like that and sort by newness. This will happen if the changes are already published. Imagine you have sorting by name, thousands of negative keywords, and you don't know what needs to be copied and what doesn't. The solution is simple. We select and copy absolutely everything. Now go to the remaining campaign. Search Miami pedicure and paste. Here everything is selected correctly. Campaign level and the campaign we need. Press OK. Look what happened. Among the pasted words, 3 are without errors, those are the words we need, and the ones with errors are duplicates. That means such negatives are already added to the campaign in the same match type. We click at the top to sort by error. Select these errors and delete them. Magic. Awesome. Now everything is ready to publish changes. You can press post. It writes about adding 9 keywords. We have only 3, but they are added separately to each campaign. So it comes out to 9. I won't press post because I don't need this. But I showed you clearly what and how to do it. Let's summarize. Your task is to immediately work on cleaning up ad traffic hourly, then daily, then weekly. After the traffic is clean, you can raise bids, work on the site, do other stuff. But while you're pouring dirty traffic, increasing budgets, you're just increasing expenses you're not earning. And when your traffic is clean, when you just go in there like once a week, see that there's absolutely nothing to negative out. That is when you can and should scale. If you see that the traffic is clean and relevant, but there are no leads, then you can look further. What else is wrong? Most likely something is wrong with the site, or your offer is weaker than competitors' offers, or the audience just isn't interested at all. Then comes work with the sales team, if they aren't capable of selling. Basically, this whole chain is gone through in this way. Also, clean traffic has a very cool effect on your search engine optimization. You might hear from an organic search expert. You can't launch ads. If you launch ads, that's it, your site will tank in the organic rankings. What the hell are you talking about? If you launch clean traffic, it's relevant. People actually browse your site, and Google understands that it's interesting. And good advertising boosts your site in organic results. Plus, when testing a new business direction, you always start with ads immediately. And you analyze the search optimization site very nicely too. You look realistically. If people come in, leave your requests, it means your site is good. It means you can add a little optimized content. It means you can start buying links. And you'll know that people coming to you from organic search to this site, they will stay on it. Because you've already tested it by driving traffic from contextual advertising. You know your site is good and search positions will grow, and accordingly, you'll earn even more. So advertising in general is good, it's just an awesome topic. Always start with it. If you have any questions left, ask them in the comments under the video. And if you missed the previous videos of the course, I advise you to go through it from the very beginning. Here I show those 10% of actions that give 90% of the result. There is absolutely nothing like this course on all of YouTube. It's 100% original, and I have a ton of positive experience. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. See you in the next one. Think bigger and make money.